So, little homework help on worksheet 5.6. Number one, let's start with number one. It says determine if they are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So y equals negative 5x plus 9 on number one. We're on worksheet 5.6, which you can find online on Classroom. What is the slope? What's the slope of this line? Negative 5, just a negative 5. Now the other one is 5x plus y equals negative 21. Remember, I'm recording, so don't use your names or anything like that, please. But this one, it's not in the correct form. It's not solved for y. So what do we got to do to get y by itself? Good. Minus 5x, so y equals negative 5x minus 21. So the slope here is negative 5. If they have the same slope, they're both going negative, same slope, they would be parallel. So if you look up there, these are parallel lines. The symbol for parallel is two lines like that. So if you want to shortcut it and put parallel, just make sure then that you're, somehow letting me know they're parallel lines. Okay, now number two, we didn't do one like number two, but we're going to graph number two quickly. It says x equals 7. So if you were to graph that one, you'd go out to 7 and you'd put a line. That's how we would graph that one. Then it says y equals 8. These two lines would intersect at a 90-degree angle. What do we call that? Perpendicular. So the symbol for perpendicular, that would be enough. It's like an upside down T, or you can write the word perpendicular. So that one's unique. We didn't do one like that. And you can't find the slope of both of them because this one has a slope of 0 and this one has a slope of something over 0. Now we could say, well, this one is 0 and it's 0 over 1, and this one is negative 1 over 0. It still follows the rules. You would flip it and make it negative, but the problem is that one has an undefined slope. It still matches the criteria of perpendicular, though, where they have the reciprocal and opposite. It's just this one ends up, we call that no slope because you can't walk on it. Yes. Okay? So, let's try number 3. Number 3 says y equals negative 4x plus 14. So the slope is negative 4. We're looking for mx plus b. Now the other one, negative x plus 4y equals 14. We have to solve this one for y. Got to get y by itself. So the first step, what do we want to move? What do we want to do? Got to get y by itself. Yep. Plus 1x. Very good. So 4y equals x plus 14. Divide by 4. Y equals 1/4 x. You're like, where'd the 1 come from? Remember, an x always has a 1 on it. Plus, this one, if you divide it out, 14 divided by 4 is 3.5. It's really not that important. The slope is 1/4. Let's compare these slopes. If you flip this one, you get 1/4. One of them's negative, the other one's positive, so they're opposites. So if that's the case, if one's positive, one's negative, and they are reciprocals, Those lines are perpendicular. Okay? So number 4, what do you think? Are they reciprocals? Look at the slopes. Are they flipped? Number 4. No. Are they exactly the same? So parallel, perpendicular, neither. Neither, because it doesn't meet any of the criteria for number 4. Neither, yes. All right, number 5, writing some equations. Write an equation in slope-intercept form that is parallel. So actually, I want to do number 6. I'm going to let you do number 5, because number 6, I think, is the harder of the two. On number 6, what do you think is the slope? No? Number 6, what's the slope? There's not a 2. Negative 1/3. Okay, so this is the thing where we go y equals mx plus b. We fill in everything we can. So the slope is negative 1/3. They've given us an x and a y. So instead of x, what can I put in? Negative 3, because that's the x. Instead of y, what can I put in? 12. Okay, now we got to try to solve this to get b. We're trying to write an equation. This is what you're going to have to do in number 5. That's one you're going to work on your own. So 12 equals. Now, if you need to, you grab your calculator to do this. The calculators that we have here are really nice, but you can do this with technology as well. If I go do a controlled divide, it gives me a fraction. I have negative 1/3. I'm going to multiply that by negative 3. It gets me 1. You're like, how does that work? Well, 3 divided by 3 gets me 1, and a negative times a negative is a positive. I have one more step to get b. What do I have to do? What do we have to do? Subtract 1. Good job. Now you have to write an equation. Y equals mx plus b. That's always the goal in these, to write an equation. So what? Yep, you can write it over in the blank. I don't care if it ends up in the blank on that or not, as long as it's on by number 6. Okay? Okay, next we're going to do number 7. And the rest you're going to do on your own, okay? Ready? Okay, so number 7, look at the directions of number 7. It says in number 7, they need to be perpendicular, not parallel. So in number 7, what's the slope of this line right here? What's this slope? Negative 3. We will not use that like the last problem. In the last problem, if they're parallel, they have the same slope. So you use the same slope. So here you have to do something with the slope. We have to find a new slope. What's the new slope? This would be negative 3/1. So what's the new slope? 1/3. Is it positive or negative? It's positive, because if this one's negative, then the other one has to be positive. Okay, now we're doing the same thing that we did last time. We just found m. We'll take m out. We'll put in 1/3. On number 7, we have an x and a y, a 6 and a -2. And take out x. And put in 6. And take out -2. What's 6 divided by 3?
9.
Divided by is? 2. All right. Now we subtract 2. And b is -4. Y equals 1/3 x. Subtract 4. On those last 4, you just have to say if you believe they're always, sometimes they're never true. You can try those, but make sure you finish the other ones. Turn this in on Classroom when you're done.